Hello, this is Mrs Reynolds here, and the aim of this PowerPoint is to share different ways you can support your daughter with maths, because as a school we believe that girls are just as good at maths as boys, so we want to raise the profile of girls' achievements in maths and ensure that they think positively and have the self-belief they can achieve. And as parents we have such a vital role to play, and I know, having become a mom very recently to a little girl, I will be adopting some of these strategies as she grows up over the years. But of course, all of these strategies can be used with your son as well. The first thing we all need to be doing is talking positively about maths. It's about showing that can-do attitude towards maths and not showing our children that, well, I wasn't very good at maths at school, so I'm going to pass it over to somebody else to do. It's about sitting down with your child and having a go at it, because in everyday life we all use maths and we perhaps don't realise we're using it. So for example, change at the shop, if we're timing how long something takes, or we're cooking or baking in the kitchen, if we've got guests coming round we need to double the recipe, that is maths, but we're just maybe doing it without thinking. So it's really about having that positive attitude, talking about maths in a positive light, being that positive role model, and your daughter then feeding off of that, and that they will then think, yeah, I can do this. Our next strategy is mistakes are good. It's okay to make mistakes, because this is how we learn for next time. And it's about talking to your child about where they went wrong and what they could then do next time. Please give praise to your child for having given the question a go, because we know that support and encouragement are vital in developing and having that self-belief that we want. Please focus on the process. So for example, if the question that your child has attempted needs the numbers to be multiplied and your child has done that, then please praise that even if they've got the answer wrong. Because in math, sometimes the hardest thing is knowing what you need to do to solve the question. Yes, there might be an arithmetic error, but this can be learnt, for example, a certain times table. The fact that your child has chosen the correct method shows that they have the mathematical understanding, which is where we need to keep praising the children, because we know with praise and encouragement that's how we're going to keep improving. Our next strategy is about sharing and talking maths with your child, because as we know, everyday tasks involve maths, and can you look for ways for your child to take part? So for example, if you're baking, weighing the ingredients, can your child help with that? When you're out and about in the shops, if you're just buying a few items, can your child add them up and work out how much they think it should come to at the till? Just different ways that we know that maths is in our everyday lives. Other ideas could be, if you're out for a walk, can your child count all the blue cars or count all the red cars? Or can they look for a certain house number? Or could they count all the even house numbers and then the odd ones? Just different ways for your child to realise that maths is in our everyday life. It's not just in their math lessons. And again, if you come up with a problem in your everyday life, share with your child how you would solve that problem, so they can then see, okay, yeah, mum and dad, they're doing this as well. It's not just me in my math lessons. We need maths in our everyday life. Our next point is about asking questions. This is perhaps more to do with when your child is doing their home learning, and if they're stuck on a particular question, you could just simply ask them, what are you thinking? And to have your child then explain to you where they're up to with their thinking for the question can sometimes allow that sort of penny to drop, and then they realise, I need to do this now to get to the solution. Something else you might say is, can you draw me a picture to show me what you mean, or to show me what you're thinking? And the image in the middle of the screen, the yellow section, is what we call a bar model, which is just a very simple way to represent a word problem. And again, just seeing something visual can allow your child to go, I can now see I need to multiply the numbers, or I can now see I need to divide the numbers to get to the solution. Another thing that you might ask your child is, well, once they've got the answer, just ask them, well, how did you work it out? because with maths there is always more than one method, there's always more than one way to get to that right answer, and that is where we really see our true understanding, is that if we can explain how we got to the answer, that is just brilliant. That's where we need to get our children to. And if they've done it one way, you've done it a different way, you can share those different methods, and again, that's just only going to add to your child's overall understanding. The next point is about playing games. So dice games, card games, board games, as we know, all of these involve using our math skills. And the more chance that children get to practice these, the better they're going to be, the more confident they're going to be, they're going to have that self-belief. So any opportunity, please play these different games with your children. Our next strategy is to group objects and look for patterns. So perhaps for our younger children here, can they put their toys into two different groups? For example, their building blocks. They might put all the blue ones on one side and all the brown ones on another side. Or their toys, all the ones with wheels on one pile, all the ones without on another pile. Or your child could maybe come up with their own idea if you just ask them, can you just put your toys into two groups and see what they come up with? If you're out for a walk, maybe start and have a look at patterns on paths and brickwork, just to see how the pattern has been replicated, and look at the sequences. Again, house numbers you could be looking at there, but also in nature as well. There are repeating patterns, repeating sequences. So can you have a look at maybe the petals on flowers and see how the patterns are recreated? It's just showing our children once again that maths in all forms is in our everyday life. The final point is about jobs and where can maths take you, because maths is such a vital subject for so many jobs, such as to be an engineer, an architect, a mechanic, a designer, and for our girls to realise that they can do some of these typically boy jobs. So for example, a couple of years ago we took some of our older girls to Silverstone Racetrack for a day, where they took part in lots of different activities that involved maths and engineering and designing and drawing. And I think it gave them the realisation that, yeah, girls can do some of these typically boy jobs. There's no reason why girls can't do that. And that's why maths is just so important, that the girls believe that they can do it, because it has so many opportunities and it opens so many doors to different types of jobs. So thank you very much for listening. I hope this has either given you a few tips or it's just reaffirmed to you that what you are doing at home is already brilliant. So please keep supporting and encouraging your daughter with maths, and we know that they will then be the very best that they can be, and they will achieve their very, very best. Thank you once again.